today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve multi-step equations. I'm going to be explaining to you two different types of multi-step equations. The first type is like terms, and the second type is distributing. The first way that we're going to be looking at to solve multi-step equations is by using like terms. So in order to solve these types of multi-step equations, you are going to look at the equation and pair the numbers that are alike together and then solve the entire equation. So an example of like terms are 7 and 9, and you can tell that these are like terms because they are both just regular numbers. And another example is 4x and 2x, and you can tell that those are like terms because they both are regular numbers, but they end with the same variable being x. The next way that we're going to be looking at is distributing. So in order to solve these types of equations, you are going to distribute the number out of the parentheses to the other number in the parentheses, then solve the equation. So an example of how to do this is with this problem, 4 parentheses 2x minus 3 close parentheses equals 4. So you're going to look at this number, which is out of the parentheses, and then you're going to distribute it to these two numbers. And then once you multiply that, you are going to get 8x from here and negative 12 from here equals 4. Now let's get into solving multi-step equations. To start, we're going to start off with an easier problem just so that we can ease our way into this. So our problem is negative 3r plus 2r equals negative 1. So by looking at this problem, you can see that negative 3r and 2r are both like terms because they both have r as their variable. So you're going to just draw an arrow just to help you know that they both go together. And then you are going to get negative 1r equals negative 1 because you're going to take this ending and put it right there. So then you are going to divide by negative 1. And you're going to cross this out, so it is r right here equals 1 because negative 1 divided by negative 1 equals 1, and r equals 1 is your final answer. The next problem that I'm going to be doing is another distribution problem. So this is 10 parentheses 1 plus 3b parentheses equals negative 20. So we're going to take this 10 and distribute it to the 1 and the 3b. So we get 10 plus 30b equals negative 20. So once we do that, we're going to subtract both sides from 10, and we get 30b equals negative 30. Then we're going to divide each side by 30, and we would get b equals negative 1. The next problem that we're going to be doing is another distribution problem, but this one is more on the complex side. And also, just to let you guys know, when you solve distribution problems, you may also have to find like terms within the problem to get an answer. So this problem is 5 parentheses 2x plus 6 equals negative 4 parentheses negative 5 minus 2x plus 3x. So by looking at this problem, it may seem like a lot, but you just need to break it down in order to get an answer. So we're going to distribute both sides. So this is 10x plus 30 equals 20 plus 8x plus 3x. So once we get that, we are going to write 10x plus 30 equals 20 plus 11x. And how we get 11x is by adding these two numbers at the end, which is combining like terms. So once we get that, we are going to just combine the like terms again just to get them separate from each other so it's easier to solve the equation. So we have 10x minus 11x equals 20 minus 30. So now we're going to subtract this, and we get negative 1x equals negative 10. Then you are going to do negative 1 over negative 1, and we get x equals 10. And that is our final answer. The final example that I'm going to show you guys how to solve is another like-term multi-step equation. This problem is negative 12 equals 2 plus 5v plus 2v. So when you look at this problem, you see that 5v and 2v are like terms. So we have negative 12 equals 2 plus 7v. Once we get that, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, cross that out, and we get negative 14 equals 7v. Then we're going to divide both sides by 7, cross that out, and we get v equals negative 2. And v equals negative 2 is our final solution.